Living by your resume virtues or living for your eulogy virtues? Which one is best? Let's talk about it. Welcome to It's Monday. What's Jonathan thinking? Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of It's Monday. What's Jonathan thinking? And as you can see, I am not in my normal studio. I'm in lovely Southern California, living up only the weather that Southern California can bring. It's just absolutely gorgeous here. And as I have taken a little bit of a break from work, and I'm reflecting back on some conversations I've had of late, I come to think about a book I've been reading by David Brooks called The Road to Character, where he talks about the difference between resume virtues and eulogy virtues. And just to create a quick definition, the resume virtues are as you would expect. They are the virtues in your life that you cultivate around the skills and capabilities that you need to be competitive in the marketplace. They are the courses that you take in school, or the degrees that you pursue, or the capabilities that you perfect on the job or in the workplace. They are the things that enable you to compete in this uber competitive world and get ahead. And they're also the attributes of yourself, the grit, the competitiveness, the A-type, if you are, that enables you to climb above at times in your respective careers. And so those are the resume virtues. Eulogy virtues, as you can maybe imagine, are the virtues that you cultivate that are really, they're the things that people are going to remember you by, maybe as they're telling your eulogy. They are the attributes of yourself that are the ones where you create connections, where you do something for somebody else for no other reason than it's the right thing to do. They might even be, as David Brooks writes, the calling that you have in your profession. They are absent the monetary remuneration that you might get by doing such acts, right? So they are the acts of selflessness, and so those form your eulogy attributes. So David Brooks delivers this concept of the difference between resume attributes and eulogy attributes by calling our attention to an analogy that's actually created in our biblical text. So if you look at the creation story that is in Bereshit, to my Jewish friends, the very first book of the Torah, or Genesis, the very first book of the Holy Bible, you'll see in it really a dichotomy in the creation story itself. In one, Adam and Eve are created together to rule the world. We call this, or David Brooks calls this, Adam 1. In Adam 2, we see that Eve is actually created from Adam's rib, and together they are put on this earth to not rule it, but to tend to it and to cultivate it. And so we call that, or in this book, we'll call it Adam 2. And so these Adam 1 attributes, the ruling, domination, let's kind of liken that to our resume attributes. Adam 2, on the other hand, would be the selfless acts of devotion that we have to curating our earth, which would be more of your eulogy virtues, right? So that is the analogy that we create. And the rabbis offer that this dichotomy is not a glitch in the matrix. It's not, oops, I forgot to take out the first story and insert the second. It's that these stories exist together to remind us that there are elements of our life where they are about domination and about competition and doing our best and being very selfish in our pursuit of something. And there are moments that are exactly the opposite, where we're doing it for other people. And so that's where this really comes from. Adam 1, as I wrote here, the destroyer, the conqueror, the commander that drives us to tap into our inner grit, to attend the best schools, graduate from the best programs, get employed by the top employers, and achieve the most amount of monetary and professional success possible. Contrasted to the Adam 2, where this aspect of ourselves, where we want to answer the primordial question, why are we here? And what's our purpose? And Adam 2 essentially wants to love intimately, to sacrifice self in the service of others, to live in obedience to some transcendent truth, to have a cohesive inner soul that honors creation and one's own possibilities. So the question becomes, which is best? And the answer, I think, as I think about it on this Monday morning is, I don't know. I think there are moments in our lives where we are uber Adam 1 focused. Those younger years where everything matters and every decision we make sets in motion decisions that we will reap the rewards from at a later point in life. My son right now is starting to look into colleges, and decisions he makes now are going to affect him in the future. And there's just no way around that. And so those Adam 1 skills of getting really good test scores and having really good grades, you can't discount them by any stretch. But we do have this world, I think, where even colleges are wanting to know, what else is there about you? What are your Adam 2 attributes? What do you deeply care about? And what do you bring to our community if they're evaluating you from an admissions perspective? Or even as employers, right? We look at what else should we know about you besides what's on your resume? And those are the things that create organizations. Those are the things that make organizations unique. And actually, even with those Adam 2 attributes, make them competitive. Somehow, we want to achieve, I think, a balance between these things. Like David Brooks, I too find myself looking back to times when I very clearly prioritized those Adam 1 attributes. And I'm here today in my role in the organization that I work for, probably because of that focus. But although that focus is what got me to the position I'm in, it's actually not what's going to make me successful in it, because now I'm in a place where I have to look backward and I have to think about the teams that I'm building, and it's actually kind of their turn to cultivate those Adam 1 attributes. And it's my job to make sure that they have the environment to cultivate those capabilities and skills, learn new things, add new things to not only their resume, but to our organization. So I think it's important that we keep these two pictures alive, right? Because we certainly don't want to die with just only our Adam 1 attributes to speak for. Nobody's going to care. It's going to be the people whose lives we touch. It's going to be the communities that we were a part of, the families that we built, and the spouses whose lives we've connected with, and whatever came from that, whether it's children or a really nice life or what have you. Those are the things that people are going to remember you about, not where you went to school, not what grade point average you had in high school. They're going to remember what you did in your time on this planet. And that is, I think, a very difficult balance to achieve. And I think, like most things in my Monday morning episodes, there's not one right answer. There's a time in your life, there's a season to focus on Adam 1. There's a time in your life to focus on Adam 2. And the trick, if you will, the challenge is to have that self-awareness when you recognize when you are focused on resume virtues, and when you are focused on eulogy virtues, acknowledge it, and seek some level of balance. So thank you, David Brooks, for your amazing book. I'm still in the middle of it, but it's an amazing journey. I welcome your thoughts, as always, on the balance that we strike between resume virtues and eulogy virtues. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your experiences. And for all my friends this week who will be observing Yom Kippur, I wish you a Gemar Chatima Tova, a very easy fast, a very meaningful Yom Kippur, Day of Atonement, and that all of your communities and your families will be written in this year's Book of Life for 5783, and the Book of Lives well lived for all years. And I'll see you next Monday on It's Monday. What's Jonathan Thinking?